It's a play about a couple's struggle to restore the balance of their routine after it's threatened by intruding friends.
A delicate balance is set in the living room of an upper middle class home in suburbia and is sure to entertain, and you can catch it at the Mad Horse Theater Company later this month.
To tell us more is the director, Christopher Price, and actor James McGee Herrera. Good morning to both of you. Thanks for being here.
Good morning.
Good morning. Glad to be here.
So Christopher, can we start by talking more about the play, the storyline? It's a very interesting storyline.
Well, you know, sort of on the surface, it's a play about a terribly frightened couple who come to seek refuge with their best friend's family in their house. And like a lot of Edward Albee's plays, that's kind of the surface of it. And it's really about how this family, you know, accepts these people that have come in their fright and how they deal with it. And it's a kind of a play about, really about, in my opinion, it's about self-preservation, you know, how we all sort of navigate the realities of life, you know, love, loyalty, loneliness, happiness, and how we deal with all those life's realities. And Albee, that was what he was mostly concerned with most of his career, actually, the sort of the human condition, and especially modern condition now as we think about it. It's a really fascinating look at a family and how they navigate life. I think it's Albee called it a social comedy, and I think that's really true. Don't
It is
you?
true.
It's certainly full of pathos and sadness, but also great humor. It's a very funny play. So I'm delighted to be working on it. It's the kind of play that I particularly enjoy doing.
Awesome.
Now, James, you play Tobias. Tell us about that character and how much you enjoy playing that.
Tobias is fairly privileged, wealthy, has this lovely home and this lovely family, but what you get to see are the cracks in the family and see how the relationships work, and a great deal of male-female politics, parental-child politics, having to deal with extended family, and Tobias is a lot of fun and a lot of hard work, I'm discovering. Albee is a wonderful writer, and because he writes the way people speak, which is a really difficult thing to get into your brain when you're trying to memorize lines. But there's beautiful poetry, great description. It's been a really interesting process so far. We're looking forward to it.
And you alluded to this, but tell us more about the tone of the play and how should people feel, you know, during the show and when they leave?
Okay. The show has so many highs and lows for the characters. I think one of the biggest things that happen is recognition. There's a great many times, I know, because we have the same thing when we were reading the play initially, where as you're reading it and you think, oh yes, I've had that conversation with my mother or that argument with my father. And to see it represented well, I think really makes people connect with the characters. I think when they leave, they're going to feel sadness for some, happiness for others, but in general, I think what they're going to do is see themselves in a lot of the characters.
What makes this play so unique, you guys think?
I think, well, one of the reasons is because it's an American classic, and Mad Horse we so often do contemporary plays, sort of cutting edge plays, but once in a while do a classic, and we haven't done one since before the pandemic. And this play, as James says, Albee is a master of dialogue, and it's been fascinating in the rehearsal process, talking to the actors, for me, how to relate to their own lives and my life. And we often talk about that, instances of our own life, and it just rings true in so many instances as we work on this. It's been a very rewarding experience working on it as a director and watching really these fine actors work on it.
And how does the rest of 2025 look like for the theater?
Let's see. So we're at the second show of this season. The first was Witch, and then Delicate Balance, and the next two shows are Women Alone Eating Salad.
Stella Callahan, I think, is the
wrote
author
that
of
one,
yeah.
which is a discussion of society, feminism, etc., advertising and women featured, and how they're portrayed in advertising partially, and the Legend of Georgia McBride.
It's a fascinating story about a young fellow who is a sort of stand-up comedian, Elvis impersonator, whose job is taken over by sort of a B-level drag show, and he becomes part of that. It's a very, very funny and moving play also, yeah.
Talk about how important local theater is, whether it's community theater or some of the bigger theaters we have. We're so lucky in this area, in the entire state, that are blessed to have so many great actors and great directors around here.
We certainly are.
Well, yeah. Well, you know, the chance to explore the arts. So many schools don't have as big an arts program as they used to have when I was growing up back in the day. And it's great to have local theaters that are inclusive for kids and for adults. The ability to play a scene as an adult with a child actor makes really allows for communication and talking, and you get a chance to explore a relationship that you normally don't have on an intellectual level, which I always find really enjoyable. I know you're not supposed to appear on stage with children or animals, but that's the old saying. But I've always found it to be a really interesting, fun process, and we have a lot of opportunity for that as actors.
As the theater is one of the great arts in civilization, and it's vitally important. It's vitally important in terms of our ability to communicate, again, the human condition in our society. Maybe more now than ever, frankly.
I'd also like to say there's a whole bunch of people from the general Portland area who have gone on to have really interesting professional careers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Amazing community, and we're excited for a delicate balance. Where can people buy tickets?
Through the website, madhorsetheater.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you both so much for being here. We appreciate it.
Yeah, real quick, address, where you guys located at?
I'm sorry?
Where's your address? Where you guys located?
On Mosier Street in South Portland. I don't know the actual
38
street address.
Mosier Street.
There you go.
Around the corner from Lyric Theater,
There you
another
go.
theater in the area.
Madhorsetheater.com.
There you go.
That's the place
and
to
you
go.
can Google it too.
There you go.
All right.